All right, we can get started. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jay Berg. I'm with the Center for Sustainable Energy, and I'm joined by my colleagues Sarah Stockman and Pierce Cheney. We're a nonprofit organization that was chosen by the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to administer the Connecticut eBike Incentive Program. We're also joined by members of the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection who can help answer questions. Paul, would you like to give an introduction from DEEP?
Absolutely, and thank you. My name is Paul Kritzler. I am with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. We are happy to be bringing to you in Connecticut a new round of e-bike vouchers this year, given the demand that we saw last year. It was a very popular program, and we're glad to be bringing it back this year. We've made a number of improvements to the program this year, specifically at improving accessibility of the program for all involved in Connecticut. And there are a number of online resources on our website as well as what you will hear in this webinar as well. So we want to just thank you for taking the time to join us, and I will turn it back over to our partners at CSE to continue with the rest of the webinar. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Paul. So today we're going to provide an overview of the Connecticut eBike Incentive Program, along with key information you'll need to know for the upcoming program launch on September 17th. We'll provide some background on the program, describe eligibility requirements for applicants and vouchers, talk about eligibility requirements for participating retailers, and review e-bike eligibility. We'll also do a detailed walkthrough of the application process. This webinar will be recorded and available online within about a week. We'll also send a follow-up email to everybody who registered for the webinar that will include the recording as well. We'll leave some time at the end for questions. We will first answer the questions submitted through the Microsoft form prior to the start of the webinar. All attendees are on mute, so if you'd like to ask an additional question, please use the question function in GoToWebinar. Please note that due to the high expected volume of questions, we may not have time to answer all questions before the end of the webinar. If that is the case, we'll follow up with an FAQ for the questions that were missed. Electric bicycles or e-bikes are surging in popularity and are a great way to reduce usage of fossil fuel vehicles. The Connecticut eBike Incentive Program was created by Public Act 2225 with the goal of promoting e-bike adoption to maximize air quality benefits while prioritizing participation of Connecticut residents that reside in environmental justice communities who participate in certain state and federal assistance programs or who have a household income below 300% of the federal poverty level. The budget for this round of the program will be $750,000. Due to the high demand for round one incentives and to make the program more accessible both from a technology and timing standpoint, DEEP will institute a lottery system for the opening of round two. The lottery system will establish 3 tiers for applicants. Tier 1, participate in a state or federal income qualifying program or have an income less than 300% of the federal poverty level. Tier 2, reside in an environmental justice community or distressed municipality. And Tier 3, eligible for a standard voucher. Applicants will indicate which voucher they are in when submitting their application. Tier 1 applicants will be funded first, followed by Tier 2 applicants, and then Tier 3 applicants. In Tier 1, incentives will be awarded to as many qualified applicants as possible. If the number of Tier 1 applicants exceeds available funding, a lottery will be held to determine incentive recipients. Awards will be made and round 2 will close. If the program has remaining funding after awarding Tier 1 incentives, a lottery will be held for Tier 2 applicants, and those selected in the lottery will receive a voucher. Similarly, if funding is still available after Tier 2 awards, a lottery will be held for Tier 3 applicants. Therefore, if you qualify for both Tier 1 and Tier 2, for example, you should apply as a Tier 1 applicant. Or if you qualify for either Tier 1 or Tier 2, you'll have a better chance of applying in one of those tiers if you apply as a Tier 3 applicant. Finally, the application window will be open for 14 days. It will be open on September 17th and close on October 1st. It's important to note that participants should apply for the highest tier for which they qualify. Again, Tier 1 is open to applicants who participate in a state or federal income qualifying program or who have an income less than 300% of the federal poverty level. This tier will take priority. Next, Tier 2 is open to applicants who reside in the environmental justice community or distressed municipality, and Tier 3 is the state measure. So again, for example, we want to stress, if you qualify for both Tier 1 and Tier 2, you'll want to apply for Tier 1, as you're more likely to receive the incentive funds. There are two voucher amounts, a standard voucher for up to $500 and a voucher plus for an additional $750. Voucher plus works as an adder to the standard voucher, so a voucher plus recipient can get up to $1,250 off the purchase of an eligible e-bike. To be eligible for a standard voucher, you must be a resident of Connecticut, 18 years of age or older, and must agree to program terms and conditions. E-bikes must be used primarily for non-recreational purposes, and an individual is limited to one voucher redemption for the life of the program. To qualify for the Voucher Plus adder, you must meet all of the standard voucher criteria, and you must satisfy one of the following criteria. Participate in at least one of a list of state or federal income qualified program, or have a household income less than 300% of the federal poverty level, or reside in an environmental justice community or distressed municipality. Vouchers are not transferable and can only be redeemed by the Connecticut resident whose name is on the original voucher application. Here is a list of state and federal public assistance programs. And here is a chart to determine if a resident is at or below the 300% federal poverty level. And here is a map where you can identify environmental justice communities and distressed municipalities. All applicants must agree to program terms and conditions, which will be available on the program website shortly and will be integrated into the voucher application. This is not an exhaustive list of terms and conditions, but we wanted to highlight a few important terms to be aware of. First, incentivized e-bikes must be used primarily for non-recreational use. While e-bikes are great for recreational uses, the intent of the program is to improve air quality through reduced use of fossil fuel vehicles, and that goal is not achieved if e-bikes are used primarily for recreational purposes. Second, you must operate, store, and maintain the e-bike consistent with the owner's manual. You must retain ownership of the incentivized e-bike for at least 24 months from the date of purchase. You must complete a consumer survey that will be sent after you complete the voucher redemption. You agree that the state of Connecticut and/or the program administrator may contact you regarding regarding improvements to the program and may share your contact information with your electric service provider and be contacted regarding programs and information on energy use and conservation. And finally, a program voucher is not transferable to another Connecticut resident. For example, if you receive a voucher but decide not to purchase an e-bike, you may not give your voucher to someone else. We request that you alert the program administrator as soon as possible if you do not plan to use your voucher, so that we can put those reserve funds back into the program. Vouchers may only be redeemed at participating e-bike retailers. We're currently actively enrolling participating e-bike retailers and will post a list of enrolled retailers prior to the program opening. Please check back regularly as we expect this list to continue to grow. To be eligible, an e-bike retailer must have a physical storefront in the state of Connecticut and be in good standing with the state of Secretary of State. They must offer at least one e-bike model and must agree to the program terms and conditions. Vouchers may only be redeemed towards the purchase of a new e-bike that's listed on the program's list of eligible e-bikes. To be eligible for the program, an e-bike must meet the following criteria. Class 1, 2, or 3 e-bike that is listed on the program's list of eligible e-bikes, have a manufactured suggested retail price of less than $3,000, have a 1-year warranty on frame and components, and have an active certification under either UL 2849 or EN 15194. We have assembled a preliminary list of eligible e-bike models that meet these criteria, and the list is available on the program website. We'll continue to add e-bikes to this list. To request that an e-bike be added to the list, the manufacturer must complete the e-bike application form and return it to the program administrator. Next, we'll do a step-by-step walkthrough of the process to apply for a standard voucher or Voucher Plus. Next slide, please. Here's the first step of the application process. You will select what type of incentives you're applying for. There are two options for this question, e-bikes and vehicles. Here, you will select e-bikes. The next question will ask if you'd like to apply for the Voucher Plus. Here we have no, which will skip the additional questions for Voucher Plus, and the resident will apply for the standard voucher. Here we have selected yes. The resident should select yes if they would like to apply for the Voucher Plus. Again, here we have selected yes for the Voucher Plus, and then we're going to select which pathway we'd like to qualify for the Voucher Plus. The first option is income verification. Here, I would like to say again, if you qualify for the income verification, then this should be the pathway you apply for, as these are the applications that will be funded first. If you select income verification, then you'll need to enter your total household size and your total household income. The second pathway for Voucher Plus is the Public Assistance Program enrollment, seen here. If you select Public Assistance Program enrollment, Then you'll need to select the program you qualify through from the drop-down list. The third and last pathway to apply for a Voucher Plus is to be located within an environmental justice community. Remember, if you qualify through income verification or public assistance program pathways, you should apply through them first, as those applications will be sorted first in the application lottery. Here's what you will see if you select located in an EJ community. There's a link on this page to verify if you live in an EJ community. Next, for all applications, the resident must have read and agreed to the program's terms and conditions. Then they will select continue. Next, the resident will enter the applicant information, including name and phone number. Next, the resident will be prompted to enter their home address. Then the resident will be prompted to review their information for accuracy. And then upload the required documents. Here you can see the required documents have been uploaded to the portal. Then the resident will press submit. And finally, there is one last question. Are you sure you want to submit the application? Once the resident hits submit application, they cannot edit the application. Once they submit the application, they will receive an application number, and the application will be submitted to the program administrator for review. To check on the status of the application, you can see it here on the portal's dashboard. Once the application has been submitted, the program administrator will need to review and then approve or reject the application. Once the pre-qualification voucher application is approved, you will receive an email with your voucher number along with links to eligible eBikes and participating eBike retailer lists. Vouchers must be redeemed within 240 days from the date of issuance, and any unredeemed vouchers will be canceled and funds will be returned to the program. Again, vouchers cannot be transferred to another individual. A reminder, the voucher redemptions are done by the participating eBike retailer and not the resident. Also, to be eligible for the program, the voucher redemption must be submitted through the application portal within 15 days of the date of sale. Payments will be delivered via ACH and will be issued 10 calendar days of the voucher redemption approval. And that's it for the voucher application process and the voucher redemption process. Here are some additional resources that you may find useful. They'll be included in the slide deck when we send it out. We'll now move on to the Q&A portion of the webinar. If you have questions, please enter them into the Q&A box in GoToWebinar. We're planning to stay on time and end the webinar at the top of the hour. If we did not get to your question, we will follow up with an updated FAQ page. Now we'll move to the questions. All right, first question. Is there a way to report retailers when a violation occurs? I've heard stories of a store that charges for assembly and other fees for the voucher users. If you suspect a retailer to be violating the program guidelines, please send details to cheaper@energycenter.org so we may review the matter. Next question. Since it seems there is a priority access for low income, government program recipients, etc., will there be anyone who receives a voucher outside of the priority access in this round? If not, when will the next round that standard voucher applicants can receive vouchers? If funds remain after the income and EJ criteria applications are funded, those who applied for a standard voucher may receive funds until the budget is exhausted. Future rounds are still in planning. Next question. Can these incentives be applied to 1, e-assisted trikes/quads, 2, e-assisted cargo bikes, and 3, e-assisted bike accessories? Please see the eligible bike list for eligible e-bikes. We'll put the e-bike eligibility link in the chat. The incentive does not apply to e-bike accessories. What if I submitted an application in round 1 that was not approved? Applications submitted in 2023 don't carry over, so you should reapply. If you have concerns that something went wrong with the 2023 application, DEEP and CSE provided more resources in the FAQ and application guide to resolve those issues that can be found on the program website. Next question. Please consider splitting the funds into thirds so that there is something for each qualifying group. If all the funds are consumed by the first group in the lottery, there's nothing left for the rest of us in the remaining 2 groups. If group 1 maxes out the funds for their third, but if there's still unfulfilled demand there, any unconsumed funds from groups 2 and 3 can be applied back to group 1. The current setup gives me little hope for group 2 if the demand is high in group 1. According to the purpose of the e-bike incentive program that was set in the Connecticut General Statutes by state legislature, the program has to prioritize applicants of the first 2 tiers, those who participate in the state or federal assistance program, those whose household income is at or below 300% of the federal poverty level, and those residing in EJ communities. The program was structured to follow that law and prioritize applicants who fit those categories. Next question. Will there be a decent selection of step-through bikes available? Both myself and my husband are physically disabled, and raising our legs over the traditionally high crossbar is not an option. There are many step-through bikes that are available for the program. Please refer to the eligible e-bike list. We have linked this in the webinar chat. Next question. How will successful e-bike voucher recipients get their new e-bikes home? I mean, will enough shops be participating so we don't need to travel 45 miles, etc., back home on an e-bike? Participating bike shop enrollment is ongoing, and we're currently in the process of adding e-bike retailers throughout the state to our list. Next question, will this be recorded to watch later? This webinar will be recorded and an email will be sent out to all those registered for the webinar with the recording. The recording will also be posted on the eBike program website. Next question. Last year, not all applications were approved even if the criteria was met. When choosing which applications to approve and which not to, how do you decide? And how does this year's funding compare to last? After the application window closes, vouchers will be awarded via a lottery system instead of first come, first served approach used in round one. Applications will now be sorted and tiered based on the categories that they qualify for, Voucher Plus. Those who participate in the state or federal income qualifying program or have an income less than 300% of the federal poverty level will take priority. If funds remain, the next prioritized tier will be applicants who reside in an environmental justice community or a distressed municipality. If funds remain, those who applied for a standard voucher may receive funds until the budget is exhausted. The budget for this round is the same as last year's, $750,000. Next question. Will the rebates cover electronic trikes? Also, can trikes be driven on the streets? There are a couple of trikes that are eligible for the program. Please refer to the eligible e-bike list. We have linked this in the webinar chat. As to the legality of vehicles being driven on certain streets, that's a question for the DOT and not one that Dee can provide an answer on. All right, next question. Last year, I cashed my retirement account and were reported as income. Therefore, my total income was higher than what is needed to qualify for lower income bracket. My regular income is low for this year. Can I apply for the lower income taking into consideration that last year was higher? If applying for income verification, you'll need to provide the most recent tax year tax return transcript. We will look at the adjusted gross income for the entire household. AGI is a person's total income minus deductions or adjustments to an income that a person is eligible to take. The AGI is found on line 11 of the Form 1040. So if the line is over the 300% federal poverty level, they are ineligible. We will use the combined household income. So this will be the combination of all amounts for all tax filers over 18. Next question. What kind of paperwork do I need for the application to receive an e-bike? Please refer to the FAQ that is listed in the chat for details on an application requirements or the application guide linked on the eBike program website. Next question. What percentage of recipients in round one wound up using their vouchers before the 90-day deadline? According to the eBike program statistics page on the eBike program website, 468 vouchers were approved in round one, but 422 vouchers were redeemed, which is approximately 90%. But specific reasons why some vouchers weren't redeemed is unknown. Next question. Does it matter when someone completes their application within the application period? Does it affect the likelihood of being chosen? As long as the application is submitted within the application period, the timing of submission does not matter. Applicants will be selected via the lottery process. What time does it start on the 17th? The program application portal opens at 12 p.m. Eastern on September 17th. Next question. Does the municipality 5-year grace period fall under the distressed municipality category or qualification? Yes, those communities in the 5-year grace period are still considered EJ by the state. Next question. What happens if we apply for a tier we don't qualify for, like if we mistakenly think we live in an EJ community? We suggest reviewing all eligibility criteria before submitting the application to ensure accuracy. Participants should apply to the highest tier for which they are eligible. Next question. How many applicants weren't able to receive the rebate last time? In 2023, DEEP received 6,321 applications and 422 vouchers were redeemed. Next question. If you live in a distressed municipality, should you select EJ community even though those mean slightly different things? Yes, in terms of the eBike incentive program, distressed municipalities qualify under the category of EJ community. Next question. What is an alternate ID on the application form? For Connecticut residents without a driver's license or a state of Connecticut issued ID, you may submit a utility bill or rental lease agreement dated within 3 months and addressed to the applicant at a Connecticut address. Next question. Do all 3 tiers of applicants required household info? Are you subject to the 300% of FPL even if you're in an EJ community? No, you will be only asked for information necessary for the tier for which you select. Next question. I know of 2 residents who bought an e-bike after the legislation passed, but before these regulations were final. Can they get a voucher now? Anyone who did not receive a voucher from round 1 can apply again in this round for the possibility of being awarded a voucher. All right, next question. Can more than one person in a household apply for a voucher? Yes, that is correct. Next question. What forms of residency are permitted for the EJ district? A Connecticut driver's license, a Connecticut non-driver ID card, or a utility bill dated within the past 3 months with your address. On average, how much do e-bikes cost? Will the voucher plus cover the total cost? The average e-bike purchase last year under the program was approximately $1,750. However, there's a number of eligible models for which the voucher will cover the total cost. Next question, do you anticipate getting to third tier applications? In 2023, DEEP did not reach standard only applicants. However, each year may be different. Next question, I don't have a job, so how can I prove no income? All income verification applications will require a 2023 tax returns transcript for every household member 18 years or older. This is how a household income is verified for eligibility. Next question, is there a copy of this presentation online? After the webinar, the recording will be sent out to those who registered and posted to the eBike program website. Next question, is there any program for seniors who want to increase exercise and improve health where only using a regular bike is not an option? This program doesn't specifically have a tier for seniors. Next question, what is the website for application? The link to the application portal will be posted to the eBike program website when the portal opens on September 17th. What documents are accepted for income verification, proof of residency, and the third question, which they did not catch. Please refer to the application guide and FAQ documents posted on the eBike program website. Next question, formally distressed municipalities with eligibility remaining count as towns that can still apply. Yes, those communities in the 5-year grace period are still considered EJ by the state. Next question, if several people share an address, is it by tax household or person at address household? A household includes all family members or other unrelated persons, including the rebate applicant, who reside together and or share common living spaces. Next question, if you are already included in the current email distribution for eBike Connecticut incentives, will those folks receive an email alert once the program goes live on the 17th? Yes, that is correct. You will receive an email alert. Next question, what is the link for the application? The application portal will be posted on the program website. Next question, I applied in round 1. Do I have to fill out info and reapply? Yes, there are no carryover applications from round 1. Next question, what is the environmental justice criteria? Please refer to the links to the Connecticut Environmental Justice Map and the Distressed Municipality list found within the program resources and linked on the program website. Next question, how soon will the e-bike list be updated? The e-bike list is up to date. There is a form for manufacturers to request an addition, and we have reached out to bike shops to identify additional models that may have been recently introduced. Next question, will you send out the application to us by email? The application portal will be posted on the program website. You'll need to create an account in order to submit your application. All right, next question. I do not understand redemption. If I bring the voucher to a retailer and get a bike, who is responsible for redeeming the voucher, me or the retailer? In other words, after I present the voucher and obtain the bike, is there anything else I have to do? The voucher recipient presents their voucher to the retailer at point of purchase, and the retailer deducts the value of the voucher from the total e-bike price, including the sales tax. From there, the retailer will be the one responsible for submitting the redemption to the program administrator. Next question, how long do you have after you find out you got a voucher to buy a bike? From the date of issuance of the voucher, you will have 240 days to redeem it. Next question. My adult daughter works approximately 3 miles from home. Is the bike reliable enough to get her to and from work? There are a number of good e-bikes available. Applicants should review eligible models to determine if they work for them. Next question. If there are available funds after Tier 1 applicants are exhausted, when will Tier 2 be notified whether or not I have been chosen in the lottery? Notification of voucher awardants will be dependent on the amount of applications received. However, all Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 applicants will be notified at the same time. Next question, will the income be based on 2023 tax returns or estimated 2024? Income is based on 2023 tax returns. The 2023 tax return transcript will be reviewed. Next question, what about people who have a disability but are not in one of the Tier 1 programs? If you are not participating in one of the qualifying programs, you'll need to apply using a different qualifying method in the other tiers. Next question. What is the household income limit? It is less than 300% of the federal poverty level, which depends on the number of individuals in your household. There's a chart within the webinar that will be posted online. It's also within the FAQ, and that information can also be found on federal websites. Next question, is the income level based on what is currently being earned or from last year's tax form? Last year's tax form, please refer to the FAQ for more information. Next question, what are the dates of the application window and where do I go to apply? The application opens on September 17th and closes on October 1st. The link to the application will be available on the eBike program website. Next question, I have an adult disabled son that is unable to drive and would benefit from an e-bike. He lives at home with me. Is my income counted towards the household income or is his only counted as his own household income? Your household income is counted, or your income is counted, but the amount goes up with multiple individuals. Additionally, your son may be eligible if they participate in one of the categorically eligible programs. Next question. If I am below the 300% poverty income and receive SNAP, which tier would I apply under, low income or federal program? Both low income and qualifying state and federal programs make up qualifications for tier 1, so you can apply under either pathway. All right, next question. I live at a boarding school. The hundreds of people who live here share the same address. Will the shared address be a problem if multiple people apply? Since your room number should be part of your address, everyone in the building is not sharing the same address, so you should be good to go. All right, if applying for with the criteria of Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, what paperwork do I need to show for proof? We can accept your eligibility letter for the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. If we haven't filed our federal taxes for 2023, can we use the previous year documents? If you have not filed your 2023 tax return, we will require the following 2 documents. 1, an IRS verification of non-filing letter for 2023, and 2, your 2022 IRS tax return transcript. Next question, can one household be eligible for 2 vouchers? Yes, one household can be eligible for 2 vouchers. Next question, How can we know whether the voucher would count as taxable income? DEEP can't comment on tax matters. Applicants should ask the Connecticut Department of Revenue Services to answer this question. Next question. If we have a Connecticut driver's license, do we need to include an alternate ID on the form? No, you do not need to include an alternate ID form if you have a valid Connecticut driver's license. Next question, will the slides be available for download? Yes, the slides will be sent to all registered after the webinar. Next question, are there any other programs in which offer a similar vouchers and not in the state of Connecticut at this time? Next question, what is the priority order for applications? Applications will be sorted and tiered based on the categories that qualify for Voucher Plus. Those who participate in a state or federal income qualifying program or have an income less than 300% of the federal poverty level will take priority. If funds remain, the next prioritized tier would be applicants who reside in an environmental justice community or distressed municipality. If funds remain, those who applied for a standard voucher may receive funds until the budget is exhausted. If you are retired and don't file a tax form, is there any other way to prove your income? If you don't file taxes, we will require additional documentation. Please email cheaper@energycenter.org for more information. Next question. Does over 300% of the federal poverty level mean you take line 11 of taxes and multiply by 3? Less than 300% of the federal poverty level depends on the number of individuals in your household and their combined income. There is a chart within the webinar and that will be posted online. It's also within the FAQ, and that information can be found on federal websites. Next question. If I apply for Voucher Plus but don't get it, can we still potentially get the standard voucher? Funds will be used first for applicants who apply for Tier 1, and if funds are left, then those who apply in Tier 2. Standard voucher is the last tier. If you qualify for Tiers 1 or 2, you should apply for those rather than the standard. Next question, are we given a list of vendors accepting the voucher? There will be an updated list of participating shops on the program website. Next question, when and how do we create an account? When the portal is live, you'll be able to create your account and submit your application. And the application portal link will be included on the website. Next question, where do I acquire a tax transcript? You can acquire your tax transcripts from the IRS website. The link to their page can be found in the application guide on the eBike program website. Next question, if I qualify in multiple ways, do I submit an application for each eligible method? You do not need to submit multiple applications. Participants should apply for the highest tier for which they are eligible. All right, next question. What if an EJ community has a neighborhood designation? So example, a different highlight color. To see if your neighborhood qualifies for an EJ community, refer to the maps linked in the FAQs and on the eBike website. All right, so we are at the top of the hour. There are a few questions that we were not able to get to, so we will make sure to add those into the FAQ pages. So please check those out if your question has not been answered. And thank you all for your time today. And we hope to see your application next week.